It's time to go! To Sharlayan! If we are to enter Numenon's restricted archives with a minimum of fuss, then we must secure the permission of the Forum. First, however, we shall need to enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on our behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us?
Oh, I have an idea.
I have an idea too. No one springs to mind?
Monty Shane.
Monty Shane! Can we ask Monty Shane? Seriously, Stola? What of Scholar Monty Shane? Yes, I know. He did come to Gróha's defense during the inquiry after all. It's settled. Let us head to Phenomenon and see if he's willing to help us once more. Discuss the studium. I apprenticed to Master Matoya at the age of 7 and labored under her tutelage for a full decade. I never had the chance to attend the studium. Neither did Thancred, as I recall. Soon after Master Louzois took him in off the streets, he was put in the care of another Archon. His was a rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. I sometimes wonder what my life might have been like had I pursued studies here instead. Tea at the Lost Stand after a day of lectures? Oh, that does sound lovely. Afternoons with friends spent sipping tea and debating theories. Still, I wouldn't give up my time with Master Matoya for the world. Aww. Did you tell this to her? The dank cave I studied in was about as far from the bright, airy halls of academia as one could get, but it was a wondrous, magical childhood nonetheless. Did you... Go tell this to Matoya as well, please. She would be delighted to hear it. Ah, visitors! And quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray forgive the intrusion, Scholark, but we were hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Numenon's restricted archives. Aha! No furtive forays into the stacks this time, eh? Sorry about that. I applaud this newfound sense of propriety. Yet in all this wide world of comparative serenity, what so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? Let me explain. And Ishtola to explain as well. Is she really going to tell him? Probably. There's no need to keep it...
later.
Yeah, there's no need to keep it secret, I suppose. Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I would have been surprised if he had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind House Daemir has lain dormant in Sharlayan's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void? Actually, that is, in fact, precisely what we intend. We are not lying anymore. We are not keeping anything secret. We're like, we are going to do this. Give us permission to research.
Or we will send Gróha in.
To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the rift, for one, that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of its future. And yet, I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two if a grand revelation was the promised reward? Ah, marvelous! An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. And after hearing the whys and wherefores, I for one do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason not to present your request for the Forum's consideration. Thank you. Although, your petition would be better received if you also had the support of another well-placed acquaintance. Yeah? Why? Master Fortuno, of course. Would he agree, though? He can hardly ignore an earnest request from his dear children's most treasured comrades. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there's no denying that having Master Fortuno on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well. We will pay a visit to the Levea estate and plead our case. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours, I would wager. So if you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity. Of course, Scholark. We'll be sure to pass on any revelations. Mistress Alia, Mistress Ishtola, how may I be of service? We have come to speak with Master Forshnow. Is he home by any chance? Yes, the master is in residence. I shall inform him that he has guests. Okay. Are we going to go inside? I hope he's not going to talk to us outside. Is he going to talk to us outside? Oh god. Well. Ameliance would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some matter of import to discuss? Yes. We need your help. Then pray proceed. You have my full attention. We need your support to go to the Forbidden Archives. That's what we need. Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. But the last time you were not this friendly, Forshnow. We had to go around your rules and stuff. It was not our fault. You didn't support us properly. Scholar Montshane expressed much the same sentiment. I assure you, we will not attempt to circumvent the forum's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. There is still the option. The possibility.
Of course.
Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for good reason, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? The thing is, if I remember this correctly, Archons should be able to go to the forbidden archives, like to the restricted parts, freely. That's why they are Archons. Being an Archon also gives you the right to go to the restricted sections. Why are we, like, going around trying to enter when we literally have quite a few Archons in our group? For a brother who misses his sister. She was his guardian and his friend. A selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over a people yet healing from the flames of the final days. Loyal to his duty while betraying the longing in his heart. It's no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings. But it feels a worthy cause to pursue, all the same. As one who feared losing his own loved ones and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you can appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Come on, Forshnow. Come on. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation! Thank you! That can be arranged. Do not celebrate just yet. The forum must still be convinced. Okay, Montshane and Forshnow is with us, so 97 more members to convince. Not a huge deal. Nope. I will add your requested list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at the Baldessin Annex. Okay. Will Forshnow come himself to... Oh, they both came. Oh god. And? So what did the forum decide? To put it bluntly, Master Matoya has burnt some bridges here in Sharlayan and salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that her student was the petitioner in question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded, in no uncertain terms, I might add, of the incredible debt we owe to you and your companions. Yeah, like, ending the final days.
Guess who did that?
That served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines, and it was agreed that allowing you entry to the archives was the least we could do in return. You defended us, Fortuno. You defended us. That's wonderful news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, as I'm sure you're aware, this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if it's not. I wish you well in your endeavor, and bid you good day. He's like, okay, I defended you, please don't make me get embarrassed anymore, and he went away. Ever the same, that one. Uncompromising? Aye, but that very stoicism is exactly what Sharlayan needed to guide it through not one, but 2 exoduses. That went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed up any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes, and now I can simply walk in through the door. Our focus will be on finding House Daimir's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. You'll be heading directly to the archives from here, I presume? You presume correctly. Then you'll want to speak with the index page when you arrive. It has been instructed to grant you access to the restricted section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for all your help. Oh, it was my pleasure, believe me. May you find the knowledge you seek. Discuss. To think the set of instructions I laughingly imagined may actually exist but yawns away from where you found me napping. If I had known of Alzadaal III's exploits sooner, I could well have saved myself days of research. Even a children's book might have pointed me in the right direction. To achieve the impossible, one must needs be flexible of mind and look beyond conventional wisdom. A lesson I had already learned, but clearly not taken to heart. Index page. Hello. Would you take us? Archon Ishtola and guest identified. Do you wish to proceed into the restricted archives? Yes, please. Follow me if you would. Watch your step, and please note that the use of naked flames is discouraged. Hello, Forbidden Archives. No wonder Graha was using levitation magic here.
If House Daemir's notes are to be found anywhere,
He could have used Estinian.
let us begin.
Wait a moment. Why? Why did Graha use levitation spell here? He's literally a cat. Couldn't he climb over there?
Also, those things in the middle look like, scratch holes for cat.
No, honey, there's a ladder. A ladder.
Yeah, but the things in the middle.
Oh yeah, these look like scratch poles, yes. It's an untitled journal. What is it? I'm going to read all of them if there's something to read. Today, in a world not my own, I met the most beautiful void-born creature. She was so unlike her ravenous brethren, eyes blazing not with hunger, but trembling, like a candle's flame, threatening to flicker out at any moment. I wonder if she is even the proper word. Such distinctions seem inconsequential, insignificant even. All that matters is the love I feel for this exquisite, transcendent being. Though you are tempted to read more, this does not seem to be the volume you're seeking. Yeah, I don't want to read about a love story between a void sent and... In the year 1564 of the 6th Astral Era, the Amalja summoned Ifrit, their patron god. Accounts describe the being as a gigantic, lizard-like being with a potent command of fire-respected magics. If we consider that primal summoning is an act fueled by faith and prayer, it's unsurprising, if not unexpected, that the resulting deiform entity should manifest the appearance and powers with which it is attributed by its worshippers. What then might emerge from the ether should one who believes in an almighty omniscience attempt the same ritual? Would the scholar himself grace us with his presence? some other embodiment of divine sagacity. Could this man-made god truly be all-knowing? And if it were, whence would such knowledge arise? I myself have many questions concerning the nature of the ancient world. With no spell to transport me back to the days of old, could I instead summon a being possessed of encyclopedic wisdom of every age? Yet, with no means to verify its pronouncements, how could one be certain they were true? Though your mind spins with the possibilities discussed therein, this does not seem to be the volume you're seeking. The following pages detail an advanced method for manipulating rift-spanning apertures as devised by Nidhana, the 9th Patriarch of House Daemir. Oh, found it. We present these research notes to the faculty of Sharlayan Studium as both a token of our friendship and an expression of our boundless admiration. You appear to have located the forbidden volume you seek. Y'shtola will need to make the final confirmation. Why? I can read too, Y'shtola. There's a book. Have something you'd like to show me, do you? My apologies, I flipped open but a single book and was completely absorbed by the contents. Why am I not surprised? Well done, Alia. I think you may have found our prize. I may have found it indeed.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Daemir's resonance many times at the Great Work.
Like, good thing that she sees ether.
Time to see what all the fuss was about.
Mm-hmm. Let's read. I'm curious. Oh, okay. Wait.
Among
Actually a
the ranks
book.
of the Void Sent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond. The species known as
What?
Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard.
I took that screenshot so that I can translate this, because this errors in alphabet, right?
Yeah.
But she's reading it. She's literally reading that.
Huh.
She's really reading it.
From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures. A talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations. Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings revealed that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate.
Oh my.
Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos.
Okay.
How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon Void Sent, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales.
I did.
Well, we even saw Atomos.
Well, we fought Atomos, actually.
And still, House Daemir went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive.
My question is, where is that mock Atomos right now?
It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for.
What are you looking at?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves?
We can do that. We can be sneaky.
Ah, but that would be abusing the very
Oh,
special
the mammoth is
privilege we've
looking.
been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
We can turn the mammoth up. Smack it on the head.
Mammoth and his fashionable hair.
Yeah. Congratulations on locating the object of your research. Please move along. As much as I would love to start crafting the Atomos, I'm afraid this is far outside my field of expertise. Fortunately, we know a Hannish alchemist who would be delighted to involve herself in our House Daemir project. Are we going to go to Nidhana?
Of course we are. Who else?
Our business here is concluded for the moment. Please pass on our regards to the forum. Your message will be conveyed. Should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature, I will be here. Patron mode disabled, security mode engaged. Oh, we need to go. If anyone can help us, Nidhana can. I say we return to Thanir and look for her at the great work. All these sallow, sleep-deprived faces, but their eyes still burn with fiery zeal. Some things never change. Hi, Nidhana! It's been a while. Y'shtola tells me you're pursuing a most fascinating study, and that you want me to be part of it. Indeed, we need your help, Nidhana. I have no doubt you'll be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Read. Will it now? By the sisters! This is the mark of House Daemir. I never even knew such a work existed. You should. It was sequestered in Numenon's restricted archives, after all. It was? But that means every word within is forbidden knowledge. A forbidden tome filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspected hand? I can hardly wait to read it! That's Nidhana for us, yes. To think that Daemir were developing such marvelous techniques so long ago. How many innovations have been lost over the centuries, I wonder? Now that you have glanced over the notes, what say you to helping us build a new mock Atomos? I say yes! 1,000 times yes! Work on a Daemir project that had even the redoubtable scholars of Sharlayan trembling in their sandals? No alchemist of the great work could resist. You're a woman after my own heart. I suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with this big-mouthed simulacrum once we have built it? So there is a secret void gate, and it's sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty? Today is a day of revelations indeed. If the purpose of our man-made Atomos is to expand this hidden portal, then I will need to see it for myself, I think. Manipulating rift-spanning apertures is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. Then by all means, accompany us to the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we have finished gathering the components I require. What? Sharlayan's markets provided the raw aquamarine and pure water crystals, but I might need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. For such a liquid, you need to go no further than the Font of Maya. The ascetics of old once favored the place for their meditations, and the water which pools there now is known to enliven the flow of ether. That sounds perfect. If you'd be so kind as to fill a flask at the pool, I will petition Vrtra to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? We meet back here anon. Sure, let's go. Oh, Arshan. Oh, Estinian is here as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, the Font of Maya attracts aggressive wildlife, and you should watch out for them when you go there next time. My apologies. No, I flew. It was okay. Archon Y'shtola requested that I join you, but of her plans she offered scant detail. Yeah, Estinian? The boy Merad was glad to hear the news of the Foundation. It means a new life for him and his sister. You did good, Estinian. I'm proud of you. Do you have that flask for me? A flask filled with astrally infused water scooped from a strangely specific point in the depths of the Fount of Maya. Take it. Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Alia. Look who I came across. Estinian seemed in need of diversion, and we, in turn, may have need of his lance. Right then, now that our little party is assembled, let us make our way to the ruins. Will we have need of Matsia's boat again? Not this time. Once Ishtola informed me of our destination, I arranged for a vessel to be made ready at Akyali. Your Excellency is ever the gracious host. Shall we?
We shall.
We shall, my dear, we shall. Let's go. You need not keep your weapons close at hand. The Guardians will not attack if I'm present, so I pray you leave them be. Don't destroy them again, please.
They cost too much.
And all this time I thought the tales of Alzadaal's horde were no more than drunken sailors' fancies. Onto the boat, if you please. We can chat on the way there. Well, you have a point. It's likely not needed with Warshan along, but I held on to the map against the chance we might return to the ruins. The ship is yours to command. Our thanks, we set sail at once. Oh, this is so exciting! Alzadaal's legacy, to see the truth of a legend with mine own eyes. All aboard for the treasure vault! I thought we cleared this place of constructs the last time we came through. It would seem a few stragglers remained. No, those are new, Estinian, don't even think about it. Oh, poor Vrtra. He really should have spoken with Estinian before we left. I shudder to think what we have cost them in terms of construct materials. Oh god, Estinian, did you break them? Did you? Those were new, you know. He laid waste to them ere I could utter a single Oh, poor Vrtra is like, Estinian is costing me a lot. Nidhana, be careful, okay?
Men were impressive enough, but I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the bounty.
Just tell me we're not going to cause trouble for the world. Like, would be a shame if we did it.
It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
What is it, Ishtola? Oh, you're the building thingies.
What is it you're doing now?
You wouldn't want to know.
There is something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance.
Yes.
Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater.
True.
Gra has theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence. But I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
Good point.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
Might as well go myself. Say nothing and look meaningfully at Estinian. Maybe send a familiar? Can I look at Estinian? I will look at Estinian.
What? Why are you looking at me like that? Surely you'd not expect me to wriggle through that tiny portal.
We needn't attempt anything so drastic. A small familiar should serve well enough.
I want to be a bit goofy now. Because I'm on a new adventure.
Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same.
Wait, though, that is water. Are you going to make your familiar that you made years ago when you were under the tutelage of Matoya? You know, the one we fought in Matoya's place, the dungeon. Are you going to make that one?
I wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
Are you going to do that one? Yes, you're going to do that. You're going to make that familiar.
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
It's not a fiend, Destiny. It's actually extremely cute.
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born.
Sailor Moon Ishtola.
Water, water, froth, fire!
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
Oh, come now. That was adorable.
Vrtra is like, what am I dealing with? Like, what's going on here? Honing failed. Yep, she summoned those.
Though not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate.
She's like, oh my goodness.
I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual. In any case, these two should serve as well.
Of course it plays Matoya's relic. Wouldn't. Why wouldn't it?
This one will bear a warding scale.
Uh-huh. Directly insert inside.
And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption.
Okay,
If I could
good point.
impose upon you to open the gate. Your Excellency?
Vrtra is like...
She's dumbfounded.
Yeah, he's like, what's going?
Ah, yes, of course.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well.
Why am I looking like that? Oh, sure, yes, Ishta. Froth and foam!
Oh, are you volunteering to join the Nixies? I could shrink you down, you know.
Oh no, please don't. You turned me into a toad once, that was enough.
Let us begin, shall we?
Am I going to fight in...
Into the void.
Goodbye! They are so happy, but one of them will probably not return quite itself. Okay, I need to stand guard, but before that I want to talk. Every time I come here, it reminds me of that dark portal above the Crystal Tower. And the final lash of Ajdaia's tail as she plunged into the void. Sisters, save me! I will never see Y'shtola the same way again! Froth and foam, indeed! Oh god, Y'shtola, what did you do to yourself? We need to wait for a time to ensure a meaningful result, be patient, and keep watch for any intruders. I struggle to picture Y'shtola as a little girl, Easier to believe she sprang fully formed from one of Master Matoya's cauldrons. Really? Nidhana is like, waiting. In such anticipation.
I think we've waited long enough. Nixies, return to my side.
Oh. Aww. That one is good. The other one is... Aww, the poor Nixie. I feel sorry for that one.
Thank you, little one. You did well.
Poor thing. Its essence has been irrevocably warped.
This is exactly like how the ancients treated their familiars. What we are doing right now.
Hmm.
What? What?
We're out of time. I must reseal the void gate.
Yeah. Oh.
They're coming through!
Well, a few of them would not do much. We can kill them, you know.
In the name of Alzadaal III, I bar this door unto the void.
Hmm.
Well, that was a sharp lesson in the dangers of void gates.
Indeed, Nidhana.
And what of our experiment? I'd say the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, looks like the talismans do work.
The unprotected Nixie has suffered extensive etheric corruption. As Nidhana observed, it's well on its way to becoming a void scent. The one merged with the talisman, however, appears unaffected. I sense
You can
no
actually see the
changes to its
talisman
equilibrium.
inside.
Yeah.
It's a nice touch.
Rest now, little ones.
Graha's theory was correct then.
It seems to be the
So it would
case.
seem. But while our second familiar was untouched by void energies, the talisman itself shows signs of degradation.
Oh.
It was, of course, originally designed to shield the soul from primal tempering. It stands to reason that etheric corruption of a different sort would affect it differently. We may need to modify the warding scale's design to account for the 13th's uniquely unstable ether.
You've said much of the Void's instability, but my imagination fails me. What manner of place is this broken world?
Oh, I can tell you something.
Ah, my apologies. I forget that not all of us spend our days sequestered in dusty archives. The 13th is a reflection of the source that was drowned in a flood of darkness.
History lesson
In
again.
Selk's own words, this tragedy was a result of the Ascians' attempts to force a rejoining. They erred in their haste, and made of that world a useless void. You remember Unakalhai, the unusual child we met during our troubles with the Warring Triad. He explained the fate of the 13th thus. The champions of that ill-fated world used the stone known as Auracite to contain the power of primals. But those self-same heroes were gradually corrupted by the Auracite's bleeding energies, transforming into fiends with an endless hunger for ether. By the time anyone thought to oppose them, Light's strength had grown too feeble, and the balance of the 13th tipped into eternal darkness. It was Elidibus, as I recall, who rescued Unakalhai's spirit from his final battlefield.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there were others whom the emissary saved from oblivion.
All right. There is the Silva. I couldn't. Was it Silva? Yeah. The barmaid at the Wandering Stairs. Which one am I going to say? Ardbert's companion, the Elven Swordswoman, or the barmaid at the Wonder? Well, it's the same woman, but I'm going to say.
The server, Ciela.
That's not her real name.
And you say she was another of Elidibus's pawns?
Yes. We actually did something.
So Ciela, or rather
Yeah, Silva.
was beguiled by the same dreams of heroism as Unakalhai. And what of your own experience? Will you tell us of what you observed during Noah's expedition?
Of course it's playing World of Darkness music, why wouldn't it? Let me tell you all about my adventures back then.
I can picture it now. The sunless, Stygian expanse, infested with legions of ether-starved monstrosities. A void in every sense of the word.
What you have described in such lurid detail is exactly why I hesitate to encourage you.
Worry not, great Vrtra. Our journey into the 13th is but the first leg of a longer voyage. A voyage that shall lead us to other reflections, to new mysteries and discoveries. And I mean to be there every step of the way.
Why did you have that Cilia lady? I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Okay. If you finished all of the role quests in Shadowbringers, you would get a special quest line with Silva and Unakalhai.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I didn't finish those.
Yeah, you need to do every role quest.
Okay.
Actually, you learn about Silva, how she came to the first, why she did what she did with Ardbert and the others and stuff. You learn a lot of things during that quest line. It's actually quite nice.
But first I must focus on refining the warding talisman.
Then I can begin work on constructing an artificial Atomos. Or I could if I had the relevant manuals to hand. Might I be so bold as to request access to the Satrap's family archives?
Vrtra?
Your Excellency?
Oh, yes. That can be arranged. I will speak to my officials upon our return.
Vrtra was thinking about something.
We will see you back in the city then.
Yeah, Estinian saw it too. Estinian suspects something. Seeing the Void's terrors firsthand was an experience, but I doubt fear of such creatures is at the root of Vrtra's hesitation. What are we doing now? Once Nidhana succeeds in replicating the mock Atomos, this door into the 13th will be ours to open. You'll be crossing the threshold alongside us? I realize this is more my endeavor than yours. To be honest, I have no interest in visiting the void myself. Might we discuss this later? There's something I must do first. Why does everyone insist on being so secretive? I at least had good reason for not wanting to explain my Nixie ritual. Shall we proceed with our other preparations then? As we saw, the warding scale can be effective at protecting the bearer from other sources of etheric corruption. Nevertheless, the talisman's durability will need to be improved if it's to withstand the void's influence for a prolonged length of time. And I think that is a problem we can address without involving the brilliant but busy alchemists who created it. Who do we know who excels at this kind of structural augmentation?
Who now?
Ooh, who might it be? I think, Who? Yeah.
Starts with a C.
Ends with a D.
Yeah, there's one vowel in between.
I don't remember. Was it Sod?
Said?
I wonder who that was. The Elegance!
Elegance.
Garland Ironworks. Can we go to Sid, please? Also, Nero would be delighted. An excellent suggestion. As I recall, Sid himself is no stranger to the void and its volatile energies. With his experienced hand at the helm, I have every confidence that the Ironworks can strengthen the warding scale. Come, let us visit their operation in Raggar's Reach and commission their best and brightest. Perhaps this young man can locate Sid for us. Hello, Junior Ironworks Engineer. Alia, what brings you to the Ironworks? Queenit said. We have a commission for you and your president, actually, assuming he is available. Master Sid? Certainly, I'll see if he has a moment free. Hi, Sid.
And Sid is like, why is it always you two?
A pleasure as always. I hear you have a job for us. We do indeed. We have warding scales. They need to be enhanced, and heading into the void to find a lost dragon? That sounds almost pedestrian compared to your last adventure. Honestly, I don't know if you could say anything that would surprise me after Meteon and that bloody mess. You know me, Sid. Alright, let's take a look at this talisman of yours. You said there were signs of degradation? Yes. It seems some manner of corrosion has set in around a scratch on its surface, much as the void's corruption seeped into Nero through his wounds. In which case, our best bet may be to simply prevent the scale from being damaged in the first place. And how might we achieve that?
Cover it in epoxy.
That's literally what he says. We have a coating agent for strengthening trinkets and the like, but I'd be wary of applying any compound which might upset the scale's delicate alchemical balance. Far safer to dress it in armor. Armor? We'll construct a protective casing, one utilizing metal alloys with high ethereal conductivity, so as not to impede the talisman's primary function. A suit of armor, as you said? Nero has compiled data on the 13th, so I'll have him pitch in with the design just to be sure. If only it weren't such an ordeal to convince him to follow our safety protocols. I swear I have never had such a reckless employee. In any case, we may need some time to untangle the particulars. Understandable. We know how busy your schedule is, and the final result will doubtless be worth the wait. Ha! The hard part will be ducking Jessie and her constant barrage of demands while we sneak about doing the fun stuff. We'll see what we can do. Thank you, Sid. I think we can leave the rest in Sid's capable hands. Let's return to the great work and see how Nidhana is getting on with the mock Atomos. The insatiable curiosity of our alchemists has ever amazed me, though I have largely left them to their own devices since we opened the gate together. Ishtola, I hope Nidhana has good news for us. I hope so too.
Ah, hey, Stola. The adjustments are going well, I hope?
'Tis a lengthy process, but the end is in sight, yes.
That's wonderful news. I myself had some good fortune searching through the Satrap's private records.
And? Oh my
What I
goodness.
found was a transaction log dated around the same period as when Alzadaal's legacy was built. It included a purchase list of highly exclusive alchemical components. And I knew I'd discovered the key to making the artificial Atomos.
Yay. Are you going to make it
I
now?
visited the High Crucible to commission the materials. After I'd explained my requirements, I was beset by volunteers insisting I allow them to help with the entire project.
The usual reaction to someone forcing open a void gate is to run for the hills. Arnish academics certainly are a different breed.
The alchemists of old were cut from a similar cloth. The unknown held no fear for them. Indeed, they were ever eager to seek new knowledge, regardless of the danger.
And were you not also fearless, heedless even, in your determination?
Aww, Vrtra.
My sire entered his dormancy before I was hatched. And so it was Ashdaya who kept my eggs safe and warm. It created a bond between us. Even long after I learned to fend for myself, I rarely strayed from her side. She was my guardian, my sister, my dear companion. And not a single day passes that I do not mourn her absence. No matter how deep the darkness, I would not surrender my search. I promised myself the time would come when we would once more take to the skies together.
I wonder
Yeah.
if Ashdaya and Vrtra were like Bahamut and Tiamat, like consorts as well, because that's not just normal for the dragons.
But I am satrap now.
The Radiant Host is here to serve, Your Excellency.
Nabdeen, what is this about?
Sir Estinian told us of your predicament.
Oh,
For centuries you have protected radz-at-han, never showing your true self, hiding behind a curtain and living only in service to the people. Your dedication meant more to us than your deceit, and so did we accept you as our rightful ruler. After all that you have sacrificed for this nation, did you imagine we would begrudge you your heart's desire?
aww. Are you going to make a dragon cry?
We survived the final days. We are a strong and proud people. We, the Radiant Host, will keep Thavnair safe in your absence.
I am grateful for your loyalty and for your encouragement. And yet,
Now you listen to me, Varshan.
Oh my. I was not expecting that.
You are wearing that face, after all. As I have told you before, you are a little brother to us all. And if you are family, then so too is your sister. We are there for you if you need us. but do not ask us to sit by and watch while you abandon a sibling you have ached to rescue for millennia.
Yes, he's making a dragon cry.
He's going to make me cry as well. Damn it.
We will succeed in opening the way. It is only a matter of time. All you need do is prepare to step through to the other side.
Oh, everyone is coming along. Oh, the kid
Your
and
Excellency.
sister.
I wanted to thank you for building the orphanage. It means so much that my sister and I will have a place to be together, safe and happy. And I hope that you and your sister can be together again too.
All you're doing, Estinian. To protect them well, you must take heart. That's what he said to us. I'm going to say it to him now.
Take heart and protect them well. Such were the words I once said to you. And here I stand, failing to live up to them. If my heart is torn, I am fit to protect neither Ajdaya nor radz-at-han.
Make up your mind, Dragon Sir. Come on.
My people, I have come to a decision. Vashan will depart Thavnir for a time. My dragon self will remain in the palace, but only to conduct the satrap's most essential duties. While I am focused on controlling this vessel, there may be matters that escape my attention. I rely on you, my trusted friends, to watch over one another until I return.
They will. Don't worry.
Take care and fair fortune, little brother. Many tears would be shed should you come to harm.
I would not dare make you cry.
This was so nice. Okay, am I going to talk to? Estinian? Convincing others to follow their hearts is not my forte. I would have gladly let our more philosophical comrades to take the lead, had they been here. Well, you did a very good job, Estinian. I'm so proud of you. I am really so proud of you. I will not squander this chance you have given me. I will find Ajdaya. What? Someone needed to give that boy a good talking to. You don't suppose I'll be reprimanded, do you? I did just yell at the satrap. You did good, Navdeen. Don't worry about it. Nidhana? We'll have that Atomos built before you know it. When a project like this comes along, we give it our full and undivided attention. Sleep? Who needs it? Oh, that reminds me. I really should finish that other project I was working on for His Excellency. What other project? You surprise me, Estinian. For a lone wolf, you have shown an unusual degree of, shall we say, involvement in helping Vrtra reach this conclusion. It was for the greater good. The worm's thundering sighs were keeping his citizens awake at night, and had travelers believing the palace wrecked by some unnatural storm.
The greater good.
But this was for the greater good.
The greater
The
good.
greater good. What of your own answer, then? You seemed disinclined to venture into the void. When I was one with Nidhogg, his vengeful thoughts were my thoughts. His endless rage, my rage. And the soul-chilling grief he nursed for Ratatoskir's death. I would not wish such agony upon a foe, let alone a friend and ally. If there's a chance we can spare Vrtra that pain, then I will follow you. Any other former scions we should call on? I would rather not bother our comrades with aught less than a dire threat to the star. V4 should be sufficient for our purpose. Now, on to specifics. Unlike the first, where the flood of light was halted before its devastation was complete, the 13th has been utterly subsumed by darkness. My plan as such is to explore the void in stages, withdrawing to safety after each brief foray. It would be more convenient had we some manner of base camp nearer to the gate itself. One of the palace chambers should serve. Come, let us reconvene outside Megaduta. Conducting our expedition out of the Rising Stones would raise just as many questions as recruiting too many scions. At least here in radz-at-han, we might be expected to appear road-weary from our local explorations. I was put up in a guest room in the palace while I awaited my audience with Vrtra. I expect we'll be given the use of something similar. And so we will require suitable accommodations. Might we make something available for our guests? All the chambers are presently hosting the great mounds of treasure we carried out of the vault. Once the Foundation's activities begin in earnest, however, we can redistribute the trove and make a room or two ready for habitation. Good. Please inform me when you have completed the arrangements.
Next batch.
Yeah. We carried so much gold that we have no place. As you heard, we will have you settled in Megaduta in due time. As ever, you are most gracious, Your Excellency. You risk yourselves to aid me in my search for Ashdaya. Providing comfortable quarters is the least I can do. I only wish we knew more about our destination. The gods only know how long our explorations might possibly take, or what our chances of success might possibly be. Succeed or fail, I'm grateful to you for convincing me to make the attempt. On that note, I'll return to the great work and lend what help I can to Nidhana. If you have preparations to make ere we venture into the 13th, now is the time. Yeah, I would like to do some things, yes. Thank you very much. I will join you later. All I need is my armor and my lance. Perhaps I'll train with the Radiant Host to pass the time before we depart. You know what this means to me, Alia, but my purpose need not consume you as well. We are headed to another world. Find what joy you can in the experience. For you are a traveler, an adventurer at heart. This I know. Yes, I am. Look at my face. Yes, I am. Meanwhile, in the 13th. What is happening here? Wait. Is that Xenos' void scent?
And thus I am returned. To this world, bereft of saviors.
Alright. That paths unwalked adventurers spur, pulses quicken, spirits stir.